Good afternoon, Karen Friedman Agnifilo. Good afternoon, all the legal AFers and Midas Mighty watching. We're in day 17 of the Trump criminal trial, and trial wrapped up for the day. Michael Cohen was on the stand for his second day of direct examination. Direct examination of Michael Cohen concluded today, and then we got into a few hours of cross examination in the afternoon of Michael Cohen. I believe the prosecutor said that they believe that Michael Cohen is going to be their last witness before they rest. So this trial is moving, I think, quicker than anybody expected, but Cohen is still expected to be on the stand at least through Thursday. And will he be on the stand? Remember, on Friday, Donald Trump had asked for a day off, claiming he was going to Barron's graduation. He scheduled a fundraiser that day, I believe in Minnesota. So we'll see if Trump really goes to Barron's graduation or not. But Trump requested Friday off. Justice Merchan gave Donald Trump the day off as trial is moving rather quickly. It was a request that was put in the outset of this trial, and Justice Merchan didn't rule one way or the other at first. But remember, Donald Trump left the trial and then started whining and saying, I can't go to Barron's graduation. But so we'll see if he attends that. But the story of the day is Michael Cohen's direct examination. We have multiple sources in the courtroom, sources who are talking with us on background, and then sources who are talking with us on the record and who are also live posting, and other sources who aren't talking with us directly, but who are live posting as well. So we're able to get a lot of perspectives of people actually in the courtroom. And I think that's what's most important, to let you know what people who are there are observing versus just giving you opinion like you would see on Fox or other potential corporate media that focuses just on opinion. I think it's important we get into the facts and the specifics of what's going on. So really on the direct examination today, you had kind of going through the timeline with Michael Cohen, leading to when Cohen was raided by the FBI, how there was this Trump affiliated lawyer, Costello, who was affiliated with Giuliani and Donald Trump, trying to get Cohen messages, and how Cohen felt uncomfortable having, this Costello as a lawyer and wanting, at least someone who was going to represent his own interest. I mean, Cohen was a lawyer at the time. And so we talked about, or we heard the testimony where Cohen was also showed a post that was made by Donald Trump on Trump's Twitter account, saying that Cohen's a great person and that Cohen's, not going to break, and just generally praising Cohen. And then Trump's post attacked Maggie Haberman and blamed Maggie Haberman for trying to make Cohen flip. But Trump said, I don't think Cohen's going to flip. And then we had the prosecution really just get into all those areas, Karen, that you and I discussed that we thought they were going to get into, which is kind of taking the sting out of the cross-examination, talking about Cohen's podcast, talking about Cohen's arrest, talking about if Cohen lied to Congress, and if Cohen stated that he lied at the civil fraud trial, what he meant by that, and just going through all the areas that they anticipated would be raised on the cross-examination by Trump's lawyers when they cross-examined him. Then Trump's lawyers were up. You had Todd Blanche cross-examine Cohen. Norm Eisen, who's in the courtroom, said that Blanche finally got to the point. It took him way too long, and it was a light payoff in the end. Unlike Cohen's description of the art of the deal, the cross is not a masterpiece, not so far at least, might improve overnight, but a lost defense opportunity. And many have described Todd Blanche's cross-exam as kind of a snooze fest, and really the only lawyer who's managed to put the jury to sleep so far, at least. And this is during the pivotal cross-examination where I think you'd expect the jury to be kind of alert. So that's an interesting point. It was also interesting that we've heard from multiple people in the courtroom that Donald Trump continued to fall asleep during the direct exam, but also a lot of times during the cross-exam, Donald Trump's eyes were closed. This is Harry Littman. Trump looks out, eyes closed, drooping mouth. More reporters commented. With Blanche several minutes into cross-examination of Cohen, Trump is slouched in his seat, his eyes seemingly closed and his mouth slack. And more of that from other reporters as well. Trump out, head back. Even a New York Post reporter, I think his name is Bachman, talked about the contrast between Cohen making eye contact with the jury while he was testifying and Donald Trump like passed out, falling asleep. There it is. Yeah, Ben Kochman. He writes for the New York Post. Trump has been slouched at the defense table yet again, with his eyes closed, this time for more than 15 minutes. And Adam Klasfeld, who's in the courtroom, said quite a split screen between this and Cohen's maintained eye contact with jurors now in a lengthy monologue about his location monitoring for ankle bracelet in connection with his sentencing. There's also a moment I'll just mention and address where the Midas Touch Network was mentioned, where on the cross-exam they tried to act like this was Cohen's merch shop. And they were showing Cohen, Trump's lawyers were showing Cohen our merch shop at store.midastouch.com. And they were trying to say that was Cohen was selling Convict 45 shirts and all these things. And that's actually our merch shop and not Cohen's. And then, Tyler McBrien, this reporter, then issued a correction and made it clear that Cohen did make clear that it was the Midas Touch merch store and not his merch store. So, Karen, let me leave the rest to you. I just wanted to give kind of a general framework of where we're at. Interesting, though, that Norm Eisen, who's a great court observer, saying that the jury's bored by this. That's an interesting observation. What are you hearing from inside the courtroom?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is one of those times where you say to yourself, boy, do I wish I was there, because, you want to see how's the jury reacting and what is it like? And is it really as boring as people are describing? And is Todd Blanche's cross-examination that's been so anticipated, is it really as falling as flat as people are saying? It's hard to know from just reading the cold record. You want to hear what Michael Cohen's answers are, and his demeanor and his expression and credibility, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't ever have to testify in court. You could just read transcripts, but that's not the way it works. Part of credibility determination is looking someone in the eye and being there. So, and other issue is Donald Trump sleeping. I mean, I worry that he has like a film or something. It's one thing to sleep during the phone records witness that put into evidence. That is objectively boring. But this is your criminal trial, and Michael Cohen is there testifying about you. And the fact that he's sleeping through that is kind of surprising to me, actually. It's very strange. But look, is doing well in the sense that he is answering the questions. He's keeping his cool, and he is not taking the bait. He's not falling into the trap of losing his emotional state, which is a good thing. He's just in the zone, and he's answering the questions, and he's owning up to it. And the prosecution did a really good job at going through all the lies and the prior things that he's done wrong, and he's owned up to it. And so by the time Todd Blanche gets around to talking about that stuff, it's kind of old news for the jury at that point. And I think that's what is boring them, because they've heard it before. And yes, he lied for Trump. He went to prison for Trump. He lied to Congress for Trump. And he's now trying to make up for it. That's what they've heard 1,000 times. And so not just in this courtroom, but in life, this is the one thing I can say. Michael Cohen has made no secret of who he is and what he's done, and he's trying to make amends for it. And I think the jury's kind of like, okay, yeah, we know this. Can we get this here? Are you going to cross on the details of what happened? And because by all accounts, that gap that was missing in terms of linking Donald Trump to cause the criminal activity, Michael Cohen provided on his direct examination. By all accounts, there's proof. If you credit Michael Cohen, there's proof beyond a reasonable doubt that these crimes occurred and that Donald Trump engaged in these crimes. So, again, if you credit the witnesses who testified, in terms of a prima facie case, the people have made that out. But it's all about, and that's what Todd Blanche is going to try to do. He's going to try and knock down Michael Cohen's credibility in cross. And today he focused more on not on any of the facts of this case. You're a liar, and you make money off of this, and you hate Trump, and so you want to see him to go to prison. He's like, yeah, that's who I am. That's what I feel. Yes, I wore a T-shirt with Mar-a-Lago Correctional Facility on it. Yes, I hate the guy because I went to prison for him. And so he's owning it. He is who he is. And they're trying to say that, look, you make money off this. You made millions of dollars off your 2 books, et cetera. So they're going into that kind of stuff, and they're trying to dirty him up. But I'm getting the impression that he's coming across as authentic. And I think that's why they're bored. They really want them to get to the substance of the charged conduct. And I assume that's what Thursday is going to be about when the cross-examination continues.
I just think, Karen, as you're saying this, I mean, you hear about all of Donald Trump's behavior, right? I mean, doing what he did with the porn star, cheating on the woman he was cheating on, who he was cheating on his wife with while she was pregnant, and then had just given birth to Barron. You have all of these like disgusting things that Trump's done, that the defense is trying to act like it's all fake, but like this stuff's like in writing and is corroborated, all of these things. And so then they like go after Michael Cohen, like, you're a bad guy, as though their client is like a saint. And it's such an odd defense. And, and it's like, it's treating the jury. You know what I would say it's like, Karen? It's like treating the jury like they're the typical Fox News viewer. And that we're not in a court of law, and just feed, like MAGA supporters who watch Newsmax, just feed them all of the garbage, treat the jury like they're dumb, and just shovel the crap at them, and then just run those tricks. It's like, by all accounts, Todd Blanche was supposed to be a good lawyer. I mean, Susan Necheles, by reputation, was supposed to be a good lawyer. Emil Bove, I'm not sure why he's not doing this, this cross. I mean, he's been relatively effective, even though, the witnesses weren't all that. I mean, the cross wasn't that like impactful, but he was smooth with his delivery. But it's like they're trying to appease, right, and please Trump, who's sitting there like while he's slouched over, like apparently like looking like with his mouth drooping, and like it's, the scene is so bizarre. You got Trump leaning over like this, sleeping. You've got Cohen speaking to the jury, and then you've got Trump's lawyers trying to impress their sleeping client sitting next to them. And it was just so disjointed, Karen. Like, Todd Blanche would build up to make this point, and I thought he was going in a direction, and then Cohen would just answer it matter-of-factly, and then Blanche wouldn't make the point. And I'm like, you just built up 45 minutes. I thought to make some big point, and like, what are you even trying to say? That Cohen sells merch on the Midas Touch merch store, which he has nothing to do. Like, it's our merch. That's the point that you want to make. Like, why does the jury give a crap if Midas Touch is selling Convict 45 shirts on store.midastouch.com? Why does that have anything to what? And I think they thought that would be effective, but anyway, it's very strange.
Also, it doesn't make Todd Blanche look good if he gets something wrong. When you cross-examine someone, you got to go in for the kill. And if you go in and be like, aha.
Yeah, Karen, I think the internet is a little bit, I think the Wi-Fi is there. I'm going to try to delay just briefly, Karen, while, maybe there's a hotspot or something. But I just want to show everybody while we wait for Karen, because I know we all want to hear Karen's perspective. And Salty, maybe you can just page Karen and see if there's another kind of Wi-Fi server that she can check out, because I think there's a Wi-Fi issue there. But I just want to go through the facts right now. I just want to tell you, like, what, let's go through the stack, Salty. So, here's what you got. We'll go through this, then we'll get Karen's commentary. You've got Harry Litman saying, like, Trump looks out, eyes closed, drooping mouth. You've got Erica Orden in the court saying, with Blanche several minutes into his cross-examination of Cohen, Trump is slouched in his seat, his eyes seemingly closed, and his mouth slack. You got Ben Kochman, or Kochman, saying Trump has been slouched at the defense table yet again with his eyes closed, this time for more than 15 minutes. Here's how the cross-exam of Michael Cohen began. Todd Blanche. Mr. Cohen, my name is Todd Blanche, and you and I have never met. You went on TikTok and you called me a crying little shit, didn't you, Michael Cohen? That's how he started the cross-exam. So you went on TikTok and called me a crying little shit. And Michael Cohen goes, well, that sounds like something I would have said. Objection. The prosecutor objects. Objection sustained. Like, what? Why are you making this about you, Todd Blanche? Let me pause right there. Karen, let's see if the Wi-Fi is any better. Let me pass it to you.
Yeah, so I just think that you gotta, if you're cross-examining someone, you can't get it wrong. And if he's getting something wrong, like the merch on, the jury sees that. They're going to notice that. They're going to be like, okay, you thought you caught him in something, but you didn't. That's not his. That's the Midas touch. So he's got to get that right. He's got to get this right, and he can't screw that up. You go in for the kill with he's not getting in there. He's not getting in for the kill. Alina Habba passing notes in court. Did you hear that, Ben? Who knows what she thinks she's going to do that's helpful. And you've got this entourage politician that, of course, notices too. And what are they trying to do? Intimidate the witness? I don't know. It's just sort of a weird scene. It's kind of devolved into this weird scene where Trump is sleeping and Cohen seems to be doing, by all accounts, an honest job. And he's come out and he's just owning up to all the things, good, bad, and ugly, that he has done. And that Todd Blanche has to be careful of is the more he dirties up Michael Cohen, the worse it is for his client. Because guess who he did that for? Guess who he did that with? Guess who put him up to all of that? In some ways, Michael Cohen being a bully and a liar and a disreputable person, actually, then you show the tweet, oh, this is a good man, trust him, this is the guy I put myself in with. In some ways, that actually helps the prosecution. So I think that they have to be a little careful at how badly they portray Michael Cohen if they're trying to be effective. But it's almost like they're just doing this textbook cross-examination, all the things you're supposed to do because you can. Oh, you lied. Oh, you're convicted. Oh, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, yeah, all those things. But I'm not sure I would do that. I might be a little more careful. I might be more surgical, the way Emile Beauvais has been, as you said. I would not necessarily try and dirty him up so bad if I were the defense attorney, because I think it looks bad on probably good prosecution. So, and I'm sure Michael Cohen, he's a smart guy. He's a lawyer. He knows that, and so he's not worried about it. I'm sure, and that's what it sounds like.
It's so interesting. I heard all these people giving their takes on how they thought Michael Cohen was going to do. And then, these narratives build. And, one of the things that kind of Trump and MAGA world, I think, always do to screw themselves when game time actually happens, right? They build Trump up as so powerful and all-knowing. And the media is, frankly, very complicit in following those narratives. Then they build up kind of Trump's enemies, or build down their enemies as whether it's like a sleepy Joe, or, or like they can't even walk or function. So, so when their opponent just does the job, they exceed expectations and you're like, whoa, that was incredible. And then when you actually see Trump, it's like, whoa, you're the exact thing you've been calling your opponent. You're that. And then people have this moment, and we see it whether it's at debates, we see it whether it's at the State of the Union with Biden, we see it once people watch it. There's always this like moment where then you realize, wait a minute, like you've been playing me, like you've been conning me this whole time. And, what I have always said to people is, look, you want to see how Cohen testified when he testified in front of Congress? You want to see his testimony there? Cohen's been compelled to testify perhaps more than almost like any human being in the United States of America recently, given all of these various cases. He's been sued by Donald Trump for $500 million. Cohen was ready to testify. Donald Trump was the one who ran away and dismissed the case that he filed against Michael Cohen. So this doesn't surprise me that Cohen is handling himself professionally, because that's the Cohen I know, responsibly, because that's the Cohen I know, acknowledging his mea culpa and how that happened, because that's the Cohen that I know. So none of this is in any way inconsistent with the person who's become a close and dear friend of mine unexpectedly, but someone who I'm very proud to call a friend over the past few years. And I'm glad that he has the opportunity to tell the truth and to speak the truth. And the contrast there, right, of someone speaking the truth, who respects our judicial system, who made mistakes like Michael Cohen, looking at the jury in the eyes, telling them everything, acknowledging the wrongs he did in the past. That's law and order. That's mea culpa. That's what it's all about. Versus Donald Trump sitting there, slouched, sleeping. It's such a significant image, and the jury's seeing it all. Karen, if your Wi-Fi is working, final word. And if the Wi-Fi isn't working, I'll just say this. I would so much rather listen to KFA with broken Wi-Fi than any other network out there. Even if I just try to hear the words in between the static, it is that much more profound than other networks. Karen, I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry for the connection issue. I'm having a hard time finding a place to be able to broadcast today. Um, yeah, look, I really think that at the end of the day, this is going to come down to whether the jury believes that Donald Trump caused falsification of business records 34 times in this case beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to agree, they have to unanimously agree on each and every count, and the prosecution has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Michael Cohen, if he is credited, absolutely got them across that finish line. So this is all about him owning up to what he did and telling the truth, and it sounds by all accounts that's what he is doing. It's coming across. And unfortunately, the stuff about you did this and you did that, that's falling out on the jury. And like before, I don't know if you heard me, because the Wi-Fi has been great. The more they dirty up Michael Cohen and make him look like a liar and somebody who does bad things, the worse it is for Donald Trump. Because before he turned on Donald Trump, they have all those tweets and text messages and whatever it is they put into evidence about what a great guy Michael Cohen is, what a great lawyer he is. That's what they liked. They liked him when he did the thing for him. He turns and he now does do it. He sees the light either side and he tells the truth. They don't like that. And that is showing, that is there, that they have the evidence, the prosecution showing the more tweet and after tweet. And so the more they dirty him up, the worse it looks for Trump, because guess who picked him? Donald Trump. That's who Trump likes. Donald Trump picked Michael Cohen. So they better be careful with that. But by all accounts, it's going quite well. The prosecution has proven their case beyond a reasonable doubt, from my opinion. Until Michael Cohen, I kept saying there was this missing link, this missing gap, but it is there now. So again, I appreciate everybody for bearing with me through Wi-Fi issues, and you, Ben, and it's great though. I wouldn't want to be with anybody else other than all of the people who come in and tune into us every day, and with you, Ben.
Well, it's an absolute honor. The feeling is mutual, and we are all so lucky here at the Midas Touch Network, Karen, to have you leading our coverage. We don't care about Wi-Fi issue, dogs barking. It don't matter. We're going to give people the truth. We're going to give them the facts, and and they're going to judge for themselves and form their own opinions. And we'll let you know how we think about things. But I want to be driven by facts, not opinion. I also just want to reflect as we sign off. By the way, we're going to have an episode of Political Beatdown. I'm going to have a very, very special guest on Political Beatdown. It's not Cohen. So sorry. It's not going to be Michael Cohen. Just want to let everybody know that. But I'm going to have a guest on Political Beatdown. But like how Trump's lawyers would not just do the most bare minimum research and go to store.midastouch.com when they were cross-examining Michael Cohen with our merch.
Right.
I just have to reflect on this.
You can't get that wrong. You can't get
How do
that
you get
wrong.
it wrong?
If you're the defense attorney, the guess who sees that? The jury sees that, and they're going to think, oh, so you're not that prepared. Oh, so when you say something, try to cross-examine him, you might be wrong. You can't get that wrong. As like, that is the worst thing you can do. By the way, you reminded me of something I wanted to say. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But while I have Wi-Fi, I got to get it in. Just so you know that the prosecution is not allowed to talk to Michael Cohen right now because he's under cross-examination. They can, like, so when he was on direct on Tuesday, they could talk to him Monday night because he was still on direct. The minute he crosses over into cross-examination, so over lunch tonight, prosecution can't talk to him. So he is going to be stewing in his own, stress tonight, thinking about tomorrow probably, and he has no one to talk to, but I guess his friends and family. But I just want everyone to know that's just a rule. You're not allowed to talk to someone as a prosecutor when you're under cross.
When Cohen was on the last mea culpa where he was speaking, he said, look, I'm actually looking forward to testifying because I want to get it over with. I want to move on with my life. I want to speak the truth and I want to move on with my life. And I'm ready. I've been ready for this day. And so I reflect on that moment, but I also reflect on just how it's just such a strange concept, Karen, because 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I was doing nothing with politics. The idea of like running a media company was not even a thing that I could ever like possibly think of, and I wasn't like that much of a political person. But during COVID, when Donald Trump was giving these crazy press conferences, me and my brothers had this crazy idea, put out a video, put out another video, I don't know, share some news, give our perspective, and it's grown into this incredible network where here I am on this network having you, the former number 2 at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, lead our coverage of this case while the company that we created is being mentioned on cross-exam with the merch that we have to Michael Cohen as Trump's lawyers are misstating that our merch is Cohen's merch. And it's a unique historical moment. And what's most important about this moment, though, is the impact that this community has, that everybody here who's in the chat is having. And when all of these moments happen, these aren't these are our moments together with you, the community here. And so you're involved in this. Like, this isn't possible without you watching and listening to this. And so, we're grateful for your support. Oh, by the way, Salty, do we have that moment where the reporters were talking about the Convict 45 shirt, just so everybody can see it? And that's the moment. That's the exhibit that they showed at store.midastouch.com. And they were like, and you have this posted on your website. He's like, that's not my website. and then Brett was on our social media. Brett was like, that's ours. That's our website. That's not his website. Anyway, thank you, Karen. Thank you, everybody. We're going to go to Political Beatdown right now. Karen and I will give you all more perspective on Thursday morning. Tomorrow, there's no court. We'll keep you posted. We think that it's possible that the Todd Blanche is done with cross-examination on Thursday. Todd Blanche said at the end of the court proceedings today. So the question will be on Thursday, is Donald Trump going to testify? I think Justice Merchan may ask that of the defense as early as Thursday. Is your client planning on testifying? We'll see if that happens on Thursday. We'll keep you all posted. Thank you all so much. You're the best. Karen, you're the best. Shout out to the Midas Mighty. Shout out to the Legal AFers. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Enough! Send it to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.midastouch.com. That's store.midastouch.com.